Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and after finishing our wonderful double modular mall, I figure it's time to go back to some old big projects and make some progress on those as well, like the fairground and our 20,000 bricks under the sea cabinet. And one thing that's kind of holding up progress on the cabinet is the extra lighting I wanted to add, removing shelves to get in interesting kind of lighting solutions and ultraviolet, of course, for the very bottom shelf. So that is what I'm going to try and do today. Well, for those that are new to the channel, or for those that are hard of memory, my 20,000 bricks under the sea cabinet is a great big glass cabinet that we're going to be filling with Lego from top to bottom, and it will represent on its many shelves all the different levels of the deep sea. So the very top will have ships, boats, helicopters and so on, all above the surface of the water. Then I've removed a shelf from the main section so we can have plenty of room for submarines and bases, plants and fish. Then the next level down will be kind of beasties and the massive shipwreck of the Silent Mary next. And then last of all, at the very bottom, it'll be the very, very mysterious depths. And that section will all be lit by UV light. So all of the glowy, threshy, sort of neon-y pieces will really pop and glow underneath that effect. So in order to do all of that, I need, well, different lighting solutions. And the one that I'm going to start with is the one at that very bottom section. And to do that, I bought this, a UV LED black light strip. So essentially I've got bendy kind of strip with 300 LEDs on it that I can stick to the underside of that last shelf. So they'll all be pointing directly down, lighting that very last level. They come in a reel like this with stickiness on the back and a connector. I've even got a sort of subsection that goes in the middle that actually has a remote sensor, which means I can actually control it with this remote control to turn it on and off, make it strobe. I don't think I'll be using that, but also change the brightness. So it's nice and flexible as well. So I think the first step of this is to try and get power into the cabinet, because at one point I was thinking I might be able to hardwire something like this to the existing lighting that's built into the cabinet. But then I thought, well, I'm not an electrician. That isn't probably a good idea. What if it goes wrong? So yeah, I'm not going to do that. So what I need to do is use the plug adapter that comes with all of this and have it coming in from the bottom. And then hopefully I can kind of either connect or tape the wire right into a corner so it's very hidden to reach up to where this will be on the bottom of that first shelf from the bottom, shining down, and then it'll all work. So I think the very first step is to take apart my cabinet entirely and see what I can get being fed in from the underneath. Good. So here we are in the cabinet. And if I go below our base, go past this level to where I've been working, and it turns out I can remove the entire bottom section of the floor of this just by releasing a bracket in each of the corners, and that's made it really, really useful for access. Nobody told me when I was starting a Lego channel how much time I would spend on my knees crawling around a Lego room or fixing lights, but anyway, so we've got the cable coming in here. This is the cable for the cabinet that's all fitted lighting, and I've managed to get this and thread it into, you can just see there, this gap, this beading in the corner, which is where the groove for all of the shelf fittings go. So that means it's completely hidden from that back corner, and essentially it goes up all the way here to the kind of connection that holds up the shelf, and I've managed to attach it in there. Then I've got the remote control bit there, which I can conceal with bricks or maybe just tape to the top, and then we've got our reel of lights, of course. Now there was one little glitch in here that it wouldn't fit in between these two corners, but essentially I bent those using some pliers. It was quite easy. Hopefully everything will go back as it's meant to when we're done, but that means we can do a little test before putting out the lights. Hey, there are our UV lights lit via remote control. Very clever indeed. So the next stage is to essentially unravel all of that and stick it to the underside of this in kind of a grid network, I suppose. But, well, I'm going to have to take it out to do that, because first of all, I'm going to have to clean the glass very thoroughly so we get a good stick. And also so I can do a good job, because, you know, it's very painful doing this on your knees. And I don't think I'll do this justice upside down. Whew. So, yeah, that was quite a bit of work getting that cable in, believe it or not. But, yeah, all good. It works. All right, so LEDs stuck onto the underside of the glass. And the glass itself is resting on a towel at the moment, just so it doesn't smash on the hard floor. Also, I've managed to put the base back in. That went in with absolutely no problems, so that's good after bending the frame just that little bit. And I used the whole reel, actually, making sure to have the connection at this top right corner as we look at it now, which will be the back right corner and marry up with our connection in due course. And I did this odd pattern of kind of 4.5 stripes, partially because you can only turn at certain points in the tape, and partially because, well, I wanted an even coverage across most of it, but a deliberate gap here. Yes, this isn't me making a mistake. I wanted a section of bare glass, so essentially I could have some transitions between what will be the penultimate and the ultimate layer, kind of like we have at the top surface here, where we've got the whale, the oil rig and all the ships, the shark diving cage and so on, all crossing that glass layer. I want that to be possible on, well, between the bottom 2 levels here as well, and that will marry up with the front corner when it's in position, because otherwise, well, it'll just be solid right to the wall and then solid right to the wall. There won't really be a kind of a connection between the two, so that's why I've done it like that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's not very neat, but I don't suppose it will really matter once it's covered. I'm hoping the light will be relatively even and won't be too spotty like it is lighting up a kind of grid. That would look a bit weird. Hopefully on a dimmer setting, if it's too bright, it won't be too pinky purple. Might be. We'll have to see. But it's quite an interesting technique for turning these corners. You can see it looks a bit messy there. Hopefully the stickiness will stay intact. But essentially you turn 90 degrees in the wrong direction first of all. So then you've got the sticky side face up. And then you flip straight over the other way. So you've got sticky side down and are going in the right direction. So it takes a bit of getting used to go in kind of a right turn when you want to do a left turn, and then do a flip over to make it into a left, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think it works rather well. So yes, now I just need to lift that into position, connect that with that, and we can try the remote again for the unveiling of the UV section. Oh, it feels like we're making real progress. Okay, so that's in position. Wasn't too hard. And it doesn't look too bad either, I don't think. Got a nice big section at the front left for doing some transitions, so that'll be really nice. And what I've put in the bottom level is just a few trans neon orange pieces, a coral Duplo flower, some glow-in-the-dark heads, trans neon yellow and medium blue, because those are all the colours that pretty much fluoresce under UV light, and we'll be able to see how they work. So here is the moment of truth. Let's turn this thing on. Oh, there we go. Hey! Oh, well, that's good. It's not spotty at all. I've sort of had a nightmare vision of it creating a little sort of pinky purple dot in a grid all along the bottom. It's quite subtle, actually, isn't it? But that's good, because I also didn't want all of my section being completely bathed in pinky purple light, because then it'd look really weird. This is good because it's picking up absolutely everything we do want with the glowiness. Wow, those glow-in-the-dark ones are going to stay on for ages, I imagine, once I turn out the lights. But nothing I don't want. Yeah, that's really nice. And that shadow there just in the back corner on the left is just because we've got the base plates up here, so it will be more uniform in the future. But yeah, I like that. That looks really nice. Now we've got some additional features here. We've got a mode. What can we do with this? There we go. What's that doing? That's flashing. I don't think we want that. And then we've got a pulsing one. I don't think we really want that either. I mean, it kind of Could go with a C thing. If I slow it down... No, I don't think we can... Oh, that's a bit slower, isn't it? Sort of almost like a very slow heartbeat. I mean, that gives it sort of a C type theme, you know, with the movement of the waves and so on. So you have to tell me what you think of that. Let me get a bit closer in. It's really showing on that yellow one, isn't it? I mean, that could be good to give it sort of the impression of a bit of motion. Yeah, I don't know. But then on, just solid on might be better. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that. I think it'll be much better when I've got all of my constructions in there and so on. But it has worked. We can't see the cable. That white bit there will be completely concealed in due course, as will all of the strip stuff when we've got that third level done. Oh, but it means we can progress now. Well, here we are with all the lights off, and you can see my camera is having trouble focusing on those glow-in-the-dark heads because of the lack of light. But if I put on our UV, wowza! So yeah, it's really bathed in UV light in darkness, and wow, look at that neon yellow piece. It is positively on fire. Wow. So yes, this is definitely having the effect I wanted. One strip is plenty. I definitely wouldn't want to double up on these lights. Indeed, I don't want to leave them on too long at any one particular period. They won't be on every day or anything, just because UV light's probably going to absolutely destroy my Lego by deteriorating it, because it's kind of like an intense sunlight sort of treatment, isn't it? But that is absolutely popping, isn't it? So let's just try the two modes while we're here. So there's the blink. I don't think we want that. Here's the fade. Yeah, it's sort of C-like, but it's kind of too off. If it just sort of went from 100% to 60% and back, I think that would be good, but I don't like the off bit. Yeah, so I think we are solid on, but wow, look at that. It's vivid, isn't it? Well, that has definitely worked. Cool. Right, well, success for part 1. Part 2 is adding more lighting to the rest of the cabinet. All right, well, we don't want UV light in absolutely every section of the cabinet, of course, so we're going to need a different lighting solution for the rest of it. And the cabinet that I started off with does actually have 6 bulbs built into it, pointing from the front corners inwards. And they have MR16 bulbs in a warm white, which is quite good. It lights it very brightly in real life, but it's very reflective when I do filming. So I usually have those off, light bouncing off all of the Lego and the flat internal glass surfaces, of course. So it might be a bit better when I've filled it with more Lego, I don't know. But I always thought it'd look a little better if that light wasn't warm white, but was kind of blue or something like that to really accentuate the fact that we're underwater. But there are so many to choose from. You can get blue bulbs, but they're usually just a white bulb with a blue kind of bit of plastic in front of them. And well, which blue do I want? A kind of light blue, aquamarine, or a sort of dark blue, or what? And when I was researching this, I found something that was, well, absolutely perfect for my needs, and that is colour changing bulbs. Yes, believe it or not, I can barely believe it, technology that's available in these things. These bulbs can actually go through all of these different colours, and what's more, we've also got different effects. Again, we've got that strobe thing that we probably won't use, but we've got a really slow cycle as well as changing brightness levels as well, with, yep, another remote. So I can try all these different blues and maybe even some murky greens and yellows or something like that, and see which one works best for me, or maybe a variation of colours changing. Ooh, that'll be interesting. So yeah, the next one should be a much easier project than the last. In fact, I've just got to take out the old bulbs, put these ones in, and then, well, get playing. Now, these bulbs were quite expensive at £10 each, and I did need 6 of them, as I say, so that's £60. Ouch. But that is exactly why I have lovely, generous Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members, where for just $1.99 a month, you could help the channel buy the next pricey gadget that we can use for your entertainment. So check out the links below. Anyway, let's get on to installing these bad boys. Okay, well, 1, 2, and 3 on each side. making 6, 4 in the main section and 2 in the section below with the rec. And here is the moment of truth. Let's turn these all on. Ugh, they're red. That's making it look a bit like a solarium or something like that. Let's go for blue then. Ooh, you have to sort of point at them all individually, but at least they all work on one remote. Hey, and that's looking pretty good actually. Very interesting and sort of spooky on the rec. And it does look a bit more underwater, I think you'll agree. We'll have to angle them so we don't get too much glare off the back glass or anything. But yeah, I think that does look quite underwater now. Yeah, some areas are a bit more blue than others, but I don't really mind that. It's really just to distinguish it from above the water, which has the main lights that are in the roof of the cabinet. You can see them there. So that looks very much like daylight, as you'd expect. And then a bit more blue and interesting, a bit more moody. Yeah. So I think I do like that. Let's try some other blues. So here is a slightly more turquoisey blue. Yeah, I don't mind that. That looks pretty good. We've got 3 more. That's more of a sort of aquamarine, kind of in line with the backdrop actually. The rec looks really good in that colour, I must say. Then we can get even lighter, or a bit more moody anyway. Yeah, that could work as well. And then the final one, oh no, that's a bit too light, I think. I think my favourite is the one in the middle. Or maybe the more bluey one. What do we think? Yeah, kind of like that. So another thing is we've got functions on here as well. So we've got a flash, which I'm pretty sure we won't want. Yeah, that's absolutely horrible. Looks like a disco. Then we've got this one, which is just a slower flash. And then this one is a thing I think that we might benefit from, which is a fade. Let me make sure they're all on fade. Otherwise it won't work. And then it's kind of cycling through all of the colours bit by bit. And this is the effect that I thought might be really good, in the fact that it kind of represents the sunlight changing with the waves. It's a bit too pinky for 1 second, I must say, but yeah, it's quite interesting. A bit too red as well, maybe for a moment there. But I do like it when it goes through the bit of the cycle that's all greeny and bluey right now. It looks very much alive. And the rec as well. Look at that rec on the back. It looks like it's really popping right now. And then it seems to almost fade into the background before your very eyes before coming out again. Can you see that as well? It looks so 3D. The distance, you know, sort of perceptive distance is just amazing. Look, it's really popping out now. It becomes clear. It'll fade into the backdrop again in a second. Yeah, it's disappearing. Oh, yeah, roughly vanished. That looks really mysterious. So I don't know about this sort of pinky hue that it is for a little bit. We'll have to see when there's more corals and things like that in there. It might not look so bad. Technically, we could have a different lighting effect on this level to this one. That's going to be a bit tricky with the remote control because they all share it. But yeah, I think it's worked very well regardless of what setting we end up on. That blue there is perfect. So you'll have to let me know what you think of this cycling type effect. I mean, it is good, but pink and red too much? Tell me what you think. Yeah, so that's that. And then I think this is the bluey blue, which I quite like, but I think my favourite is arguably this kind of aquamarine blue. So I think I'm going to leave it on this for now. And that just means that when I turn off and on my cabinet, we'll have automatic sunlight at the top and automatic aquamarine light on the middle sections. And I'll have to do the UV light separately with the other remote control. Let's get that one on at the same time. There we go. So that is still glowing. And I think when we've got all of the plates and so on at the bottom of this rec level, that will be more isolated and the UV will pop even more, though it is glowing quite well, you can see. Yeah. So there is our lit cabinet. It's been quite a lot of work just to do this brief video, I must say, but I think you'll agree it's very much worthwhile. And I always like to include all the steps of my builds, even the boring ones or the technical ones, just because, well, you might want to do the same yourselves, and I'll just get loads of questions otherwise. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Yeah, the difference between up there and in there is quite pronounced. And we can make it even more if we want. Wow, really happy with that. Looking good. And then just for completeness, I thought I'd do it with all of my room lights and the filming lights off, so we can just see the cabinet lights. And wow, that is a really good effect, isn't it? It looks very day-like up there. Oh, look at that blue. That is vivid. That is absolutely amazing. Oh, going into the dark blue. It's just when the pink comes in, it kind of ruins it a little bit, but that's still really interesting. And then the UV at the bottom, glowing like crazy. Yeah, I absolutely love that. And that wreck. Let's close in on that. There we go. So that's very visible. And then will it vanish a bit? Yeah. Oh, that looks good. It's a bit too blue on the full dark blue, I think. But yeah, I do like the cycle. It definitely makes this cabinet a real feature, doesn't it? I mean, wow, and that light's arguably the best. Don't know what colour that is. I should try and get that one. Looks incredible. Yeah, so this is going to be a real eye-catcher to this cabinet when it's all on, I must say. And it's got enough light that I really don't need the filming lights, really, do I? Let's see if it's good enough close in. Yeah, I think for detail maybe I'd still need filming lights, but it's certainly a very good effect. I'm really happy with this, but as always, do tell me what you think. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, I'm still a bit disorganised, so I don't know exactly what I'll be doing. But if this video is anything to go by, it'll be absolutely awesome. I think you'll agree. So until then, see you. Oh, I just love that wreck. Watch it vanish. Oh, it's gone.